Om Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvabhignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Yenaksharasamaamnayam Adhigamya Maheshwarat Kritsnam Vyakaranam Proktam Tasmai Paninaye Namaha Vakyakaram Vararuchim Bhashyakaram Patanjalim Paninim Sutrakarancha Pranatosmi Munitrayam Vagarthaviva Sampriktau Vagarthav Pratipattaye Jagatav Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwarau Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry about last week. I don't know what happened. Maybe we weren't praying enough. No, I shouldn't blame you. So everything should be good today. So I got everything fixed. So hopefully everything is okay. I told you to open up the workbook. You don't need this now, but we will continue with this workbook, page 61 in the future. So just you can mark that. It's kind of a good overview of what we've done with Vibhakti. Okay, so I'm just going to close this. All right. So let's look at our Rama Shabda. We'll go all the way from first case to sixth case, and then today we're going to actually start with seventh case. So we'll eventually go to seventh case as well. Okay. Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha, Ramam, Ramo, Raman, Ramena, Ramabhyam, Ramaihi. Fourth case, Ramaya, Ramabhyam, Ramebhyaha. Fifth case, Ramat, Ramabhyam, Ramebhyaha. Sixth case, Ramasya, Ramayoho, Ramanam. Now you can repeat after me. Rame, Ramayoho, Rameshu. Rameshu. Okay, so let's do Sambodhana. Hey Rama, Hey Ramo, Hey Ramaha. So just a note with Sambodhanam, they usually write after the seventh case, but it really is a derivation of the first case. It's a non-karaka vibhakti of the first case, but the reason that they include it separately here is because sometimes this S1, the first one here, is slightly different than 1-1. See, 1-1 is Ramaha, and here it's just Hey Rama. So that's why they include it on the chart. Some other books, you'll see it right after the first case. And that's probably a better placement, to be honest. But this is, either one, you'll see either one. Sometimes they call Sambodhana the eighth case also. But eighth case is not technically correct. Panini didn't include an eighth case because that's technically included with the first case, okay? So for today, we're gonna keep looking at the sixth case, and finishing that up, and then we'll jump into the seventh case, seventh vibhakti. All right. Let's close this. Okay, so as a reminder, sixth case is employed to convey, right? The first thing is sambandhe shashti. When it indicates a connection or relationship between one noun with another noun. For example, house of Devadatta, or happiness for the devotees. Then we saw Nirdharane Shashti. Nirdharane Shashti. Okay, so Nirdharane Shashti is when there's a group, and from that group or within that group, a selection is made. Within that group, a selection is made. Okay, so let's look at the second example. Palanam amrapalam madhuratamaha. So among all fruits, palanam, so that's translation of Nirdharane Shashti, among all the fruits, amrapalam, mango, madhuratamaha is the sweetest. Okay, so one good translation of Nirdharane Shashti, you'll see the word among. So among the group, one is different. You can also see the word of, right? OF, of. That's usually common with the sixth case. You'll see a lot of when they're translating sixth case, right? The book of Devadatta. Devadattasya pustakam. Okay. Any questions so far with Sambandhe Shashti or Nirdharane Shashti? Let's do an example of Nirdharane Shashti, and if we have time, we'll also do a short one for Sambandhe Shashti again, okay? So there's a question, there's a few questions here, okay? 1 second. Hariprasad ji?
Sir, can I say between Rama and Lakshmana, Rama is Jeshta?
Yeah, that's also correct.
Okay.
Or you can even say among Rama and Lakshmana, Rama is the Jeshta.
The among is more than two, is it not?
You can also use it with two as well.
I see.
Because in English, two is technically plural.
Okay, thank you.
And then one is, so there's another question, is Madhura Tamaha comparative, sweeter than? Yeah. So when you get that suffix tamaha, that suffix means it's a comparative pronoun. It's so the sweetest, est, is the same as tamaha. It's the sweetest or sweeter than. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to my camera. Let me make it a little bigger for you. We're going to go to the back of the book. If someone can help me with the page number, this is the sixth case homework. We're going to we'll skip number 3 for right now. We'll go all the way to this example. Stavaranam Himalayaha Aham Asmi. And then we'll come back to do the number 3. So you can write in the chat the page number so that everyone can know. If it's already there, thank you. Okay, so this is the back of the book for 6th case. Okay, so there's a few. So the reason that it's actually written a bit differently than our usual examples. And one thing we need to note is why this is written like this is because this actually comes from Bhagavad Gita. Okay, this comes from Bhagavad Gita chapter 10. When Bhagavan Krishna is Vibhuti Yoga, he's talking about all the Vibhutis. So he'll say here it's I don't want to translate it yet because we're going to translate it together. But Bhagavan says, "I'm the greatest of all things." Okay. So here the dhatu, the Tingantam is asmi. Right? Asmi is not a 1P or 1A. So we need to look at it a bit carefully. Asmi is dhatu as. Now this is very common, so it's worth noting. As is 2P, 2B. Okay? And you see that me, just like bhavami, right? That me means it's one, or first one. When we write our things, we usually write the first one is a Roman numeral. So first one. So first person, pratama purusha, ekavachanam, asmi. Now, whenever you see asmi, the word aham usually goes with it, right? Because you're talking about I. Asmi means am, right? So I am. So let's look at aham. Let's look at aham. Aham is actually a funny one. Aham comes from a particular pratipadika called asmad. Asmad. Okay? Asmad somehow gets transformed into aham. Okay? This is one of those things that just, that's how it is. Okay? Asmad. Asmad, we can say dakaranta, but we can also say it's a sarvanama. Sarvanama means it's a pronoun. And it's, here we're using it as punlinga. Someone write pun. Okay, so it's sarvanama punlinga. Sarvanama means name for all, and a name for all is also called a pronoun in English, right? Pronoun. Asmad by itself means like, it's like that. Okay, supratyaya, this is prathama vibhakti, ekavachanam, 1-1. Vibhakti artha. Oh, I didn't finish this. This is lat lakara, right? This is kartri prayoga. And this is first one. Okay, so I didn't finish it there. So we know it's kartri prayoga. We know it's kartri pratama. 2, asmi. So whenever you see asmi or bhavami, we can usually supply a hum, even if it's not written there, okay? When you see bhavami or asmi, you can usually safely, very safely supply a hum, even if it's not there. Okay, the next word, Himalaya. Pratipadika, akaranta, punlinga. And this is 1-1, just like Ramaha, Himalaya. And vibhakti arthaha, this is, okay, so this is funny. Now we have 2 1-1s. So this was the question last time. What happens if you have 2 1-1s? Now here I have asmi. So right, so far the translate is I am. Now what the next 1-1 will be the predicate to this. So I am Himalaya. Because they're referring to the same thing, I and Himalaya are one, therefore we can use the same case. Okay? So we can also say that this is kartri pratama. 2, asmi. Okay, so far as I am the Himalaya, like Himalaya mountains, right? Himalaya mountains. You can see it very clearly without the smog in India right now. One hidden benefit of lockdown. And then Stavaranam. Pratipadika Stavara. That's Akaranta Punlinga. Now this is, right, Nam. Where do we see Nam? 6 case, right? Ramasya, Ramayoho, Ramanam. Okay, plural. So 6, 3. And, okay. So he says, I am the Himalaya. Is it Himalaya? So Stavara means mountains. Stavara means mountain. So I am the Himalaya of the mountain? No, no, no. I am Himalaya among all mountains. So among all mountains, I am the Himalaya mountain. Why? Because according to Bhagavan Krishna, Himalaya is the best, right? Mount Everest. So among all mountains, I am the Himalaya. This is the vibhuti of Ishvara, the glory of God, right? So this is what kind of Shashti? Nirdharane Shashti. Okay, Nirdharane Shashti. And this is non-karaka, right? So we don't need to write to anything. Oh, but sorry, all 6 cases, but we can say since it's near Dharana, we can also say it's near Dharana to Himalaya if we want to. So among what? Among all mountains. Among is connected with the Himalaya. Himalaya. But let's just keep it. Let's not write to anything. I don't know. I don't want to complicate things. So let's just keep it near Dharana Shashti. Translation. Among all mountains, I am the Himalaya. Okay. Any questions here? Let me see the chat. Okay. Did I make a typo with nakara here in the book? Does it say Murdanya nakara? No. Let's see. So we have a ra or sha preceding a nakara, and we have at kupu. That's correct. So this should be, I think that's a typo. It should be Stavarana, like this, according to the Sandhi rule. There is a typo there. Because you have a ra or sha preceding, and only thing intermediate to it is an akara, and that's okay. So that should be Stavaranam. Okay, so let's stop there. I just want to, let's just quickly look at this example. This is number 3, I believe. Hastayoho devaha indraha bhavati. Now we're not going to go through the whole thing. I'll just show you. Bhavati, right? Bu, dhatu, latlakara, kartri prayoga, third one. Think about how much we needed to learn to say that sentence. Okay. Now, what is Indra is? Indra is what? Indra is the deva, the god of hasta, 2 hands. Hasta yoho, 2 hands. So Indra is the god of the 2 hands. So you know how these have the same case because they're referring to the same thing. God and Indra are one and the same, right? So that's why they can be in the same. They can be both 1, 1. Indra is the god of the 2 hands. All right. Okay, we're going to go back to the other screen. Now let's look at seventh case. So seventh case, Rame, Ramayoho, Rameshu. So you notice that 6-2 and 7-2 are the same. I'll take questions in a moment. I'll just finish this part here. 6-2 and 7-2 are the same. So that's good to know, right? So we don't need to know that. But 7-1 and 7-3. Now, here it says, in 7-1, the last letter akara and the suffix e become a by guna sandhi. So that's a lot of words. Let me give you another. All right, so let me write this. So sometimes when you have, so in 7-1, the suffix is e. Okay, e. I, right? So, but it's e. Okay, when I add Rama plus e, or Ram, let me do it in Devanagari. Rama plus e, there's an akara meeting an ikara. When that happens, they combine to make ekara. This was, we already saw this in 3-1. We had Rama plus in, and it become, oh, sorry, it became Ramena. This was 3-1. Same rule here, akara plus ikara becomes a, so we get, finally we get Rame. Okay, that's one part of guna sandhi. A plus e become a when they're phonetically put together. So that's why in 7-1 we say Rame. Okay. Now 7-2, always the same as 6-2 for any pratipadikam. So all we do is add yoho to Rama. So Rama yoho. Okay, now 7-3 is a little bit more complicated, right? In 7-3, the last letter is replaced by a, and su is suffixed. Okay, goes, a comes in its place, and then we add su. So it becomes Rame su. Then that sakara becomes shakara. So Rame shu. Why that happens? It's just like what we did with with nakara, but slightly different. I'll make another 30-minute video just about that. Okay, but it's that sakara becomes shakara because there's a few things preceding it. So if I write here, Rama, the last is replaced by a. So akara goes, and then it gets replaced by a, so it becomes Rame. And then we add su. And then finally, that gets transformed into Rame shu. Okay, so Rame, Ramayoho, Rameshu. You don't need to know the rules behind this, but if you're curious, that's what it is. Otherwise, you can just know that this is what it looks like here. Okay. So now we know the whole chart. Okay, we know the whole chart. Well, now it'll go much faster. So you'll wish we just stayed with Rama for a longer time, because now it's gonna go, we're gonna just fly through all the rest of them. But the building block is always Rama. and then we can build the superstructure from there. So let's look at some meanings for Rama. Well, first let's see. Okay, let's look at Acharya, for example. Acharya 7-1 would be Acharye. 7-2 Acharya yoho. Okay, 2 yakaras. Acharya yoho. And then 7-3 Acharyeshu. Acharyeshu. Okay, Deva. Deve. Devayoho. Deveshu. Bhoga. Bhoge. Bhogayoho. Bhogeshu. Ishvara. Ishvare. Ishvarayoho. Ishvarayo. Okay, so it's Ishvarayoho. Then Ishvareshu. Devadatta. Last one. Devadatte. Devadattayoho. Devadatteshu. All right. Thumbs up. Okay. Any questions so far? Harprasad, you had a question from earlier?
Yes, sir. In the example, we talked about Hassayoha Devaha Indraha Bhavati.
Yep.
I translated as the god of the hands is Indra.
So god of the hands is Indra. Yeah, that's correct. So we can
Okay.
say Indra is the god of hands, or god of hands is Indra. Both ways.
Okay, thank you.
Looks perfect. Yeah. Okay, so what is seventh case employed to convey? Okay, so before you flip your book, it's conveyed to show adhikaranam. Okay, but before we look at adhikarana saptami, let's look at what adhikaranam means. So this is like probably around page 14 in the book, if you want to look at the beginning. This is the 6th karaka out of 6. This is the last karaka we need to look at. Okay. So if you can write the page number in the chat if once you find it. So adhikaranam. So seventh case is employed to convey adhikaranam. But as I've said before, concept of karaka and concept of vibhakti are separate. Okay. So seventh case can convey other things, but one of the things it conveys is adhikaranam. Okay. Adhikaranam, locus means locus of action. Locus means location, right? Location of an action. So with reference to a given action, a locus or location of karta or karma in terms of 3 things. In terms of place, desha, time, kala. Third is subject, vishaya. So we'll see an example for each of these. So for example, he cooks in the kitchen. With reference to the action of cooking, he is the karta because he cooks. He cooks where? In the kitchen. Okay, so the locus of the action or locus of the karta or karma technically, right, is in the kitchen. Okay, I'm putting it way down here so we can hide the answers. He cooks rice in the pan. Okay, with reference to the action of cooking, who is the karta? He is the karta. He cooks. He cooks what? Rice. So rice is the karma. And he cooks rice where? In the pan. So in the pan is the adhikaranam, the locus of the cooking. Locus of the karta or karma, locus of action. Example number 4. He sleeps at night. Now so the first 2 examples were examples of desha, right? In terms of place. Now here's an example in terms of time. He sleeps at night. He is the karta of sleeping and night is the adhikaranam, at night. So it can be in terms of time, right? Not just place. And this last one here, with reference to moksha, he has desires. So go all the way back, down at the bottom of the screen. With reference to the action of having, who has? He has, so he is the karta. He has what? Desire. So desire is the karma. Now, that desire is with reference to what? With reference to moksha. So it's the desires in moksha as though. Now, notice how moksha is not kala, it's not also desha, it's not time or place. It is a subject matter, desires in moksha. Okay, so going back. Okay, so any questions so far with that? So adhikaranam can be in terms of those three things: desha, kala, and vishaya. Now, it can also be, yeah, I'll explain. There's some nuance to the vishaya, but I'll explain that as it comes up. Now let's open our books to this page. So this is, sorry, I don't have the page numbers with me. This is at when we're talking about vibhakti artha on the seven cases, the meaning of the seventh cases. I assume it's around page 59 from memory. Okay. So the seventh case is employed to convey what we just saw, adhikaranam. Adhikaranam is a karaka, a factor related to the action. Okay, so the karaka vibhakti is adhikaranam. Adhikaranam. I'm going to say it 100 times. So now notice we put it in seventh case. So it's called adhikarane saptami. Adhikarane saptami. So example number 1, Devadattaha mahanase pachati. Pachati means cooks. Who cooks? Devadatta cooks. Where does he cook? Mahanase. In the kitchen. Mahanasa. So Mahanasa is the locus of the karta. Therefore, it's adhikaranam, and therefore it's in seventh case. Devadattaha patre odanam pachati. Devadatta cooks rice in a vessel. Devadatta pachati. Devadatta cooks what? Odanam, rice. Where? Patre. In the vessel. In America, we use a rice cooker or an instant pot, if you know what I mean. Okay. So it cooks rice in the vessel. Okay. Now there's one nuance to, no, not that. Where am I looking for? Okay, so this is one nuance to Vishaya Saptami. So remember that adhikara can be in terms of time, place, or subject matter. Now here it says Devadatta putre snihati. Devadatta feels affection. So snihati means to feel affection. Now, the locus of interest or the locus of a subject matter is adhikara. So his interest is in the sun. So therefore, it's seventh case. Conventionally, this is called Vishaya Saptami because the adhikara is in terms of Vishaya. But Vishaya Saptami is not different than adhikarana Saptami. It's just one type. Okay. We'll continue with this example next time. The homework is to finish all of the sixth case homework. Did we finish that yet? I don't believe all of them. We didn't do all of the sixth case homework. So we'll finish the sixth case homework and next time we'll finish the seventh case homework, okay? So today is finishing all the 6 case homework in the back of the book. Okay, with that, we'll finish with Shanti. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Okay, so see you in 5 minutes at 8:10. Okay, let me know if you have any questions.